Like everybody else on Spotify, I got my yearly Wrapped last December. And it was kind of interesting because ever since I started working at Funky, I've been listening to a ton of electronic music. So obviously, my Wrapped was all about Ben Bummer, OffTrack, okay, with a little bit of Italian pop mixed in. There's a courtesy of my kids forcing me to listen to it every single day in the car. Anyway, all of it wrapped in a confetti and cute fonts, like always. First, I look at it as a pure fun and games. It's basically like a personality quiz, right? Then I found out something about the same data and it stopped being fun. In November 2024, that exact kind of data, who listen, how often, whether they have still been listening 30 days or not, got used to price 1.47 billion of bonds. We are talking real. Wall Street's bonds here. Built the same way banks package mortgages. Except the collateral wasn't bond this time. It was 45,000 songs. And inside the mat are your odds of pressing the play button on those songs again. On this episode of OffTrack, we are following the money because in the biggest music deals of the decades, the fan shows up exactly once as a line in a spreadsheet. Let's start from the scary headlines because they are rough. Deezer, the only big platform that actually tags AI music, went from about 10,000 AI-generated tracks a day at the start of last year to 75,000 a day by this April. Almost half of everything landing on the platform. Spotify pulled 75 million tracks in one single cleanup. And here's the ugly one. On Deezer, 85% of the streams those AI tracks get are flagged as fraud. Bots, farming royalties, how does the same pool real artists get paid from? So if you read that story, you will probably price music at zero, right? This is funny, but the people who price things for a living, they did it. Bruce Springsteen sold his catalog reportedly for $500 million, and Bob Dylan for about 300-400 million, only for the songwriting alone. What about the Queen? 1.27 billion, the biggest music rights deal ever recorded. Nobody, and I mean nobody, spends $1 billion on something worthless. So the real question here is not whether the music has still value. It's what that money is actually buying. So let's follow this one deal start to finish. It was around 2018, a company called Hipgnosis has an idea to buy up rights to famous songs and let regular people invest in royalties. Just like stocks. The idea is, every time the song plays, the owners get paid. Quite simple, right? They spend about 2.2 billion building that collection, and they overpay. By 2023, the whole thing collapsed. So that's when Blackstone showed up, which, by the way, is the biggest private equity firm on the planet. On July 2024, they buy the whole catalog for around 1.58 billion. 90 days later, an independent reviews values the same collection at 2.36 billion. Not a bad quarter, right? And by November, they have turned those songs into 1.47 billion in box. Quick pause, because I need and I want to explain this properly. What Blackstone did is called an asset-backed security, an ABS. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, neither did I until this episode. So basically, instead of just owning the songs and collecting royalties slowly, you package the future royalties payments into a bond and sell that bond to investors today. Banks do exactly the same with mortgages. The same trick, just this time with currencies instead of houses. And here's the details that unlocks the whole episode for me. To price that bond, analysts had to predict what those songs would earn over the next 40 years. Yes, the next 40 years. So just sit with that for a second. Its song itself never changes. The recording is done. It's kind of a frozen, right? The only thing that can change over 40 years, believe it or not, is us, guys. You and I. And by the way, 40 years is not just a normal bet. Car loans, mortgages, credit card debt, most of that gets packaged for 5, maybe 30 years tops. 40 years is a pension territory. That's a kind of horizon actually used to bet on how long you're going to live. And we all know how good humanity is at predicting that. Whether the gym playlist survives, whether the breakup song still gets played at 1 a.m., whether kids who are not even born yet grow up loving what their parents love. They didn't buy the music, they bought the listening. And songs are just half of the shopping. Same money, he's also buying the types, the system music has to travel to actually reach you. In February this year, Universal, already the biggest music company heard, paid $775 million for a company called Downtown. Downtown is behind tools like CD Babe and Songtrust. That stuff, millions of independent artists use specifically to release music and collect royalties without the major label involved. That's the whole reason artists pick those tools. Over 200 indie executives publicly fought this deal. And it went through anyway. I know all this financial stuff, mergers, it might sound boring, but bear with me because this one is even bigger. 2 months later, B&G and Concord announced a merger, creating the 4th largest music company in the world. Over 4 million songs, a reported $15 billion in valuation. If you're an artist watching this, here's why it matters. You already felt this one, right? CD Baby, Songtrust, those tools you pick because they were not owned by a major. They are not independent anymore. Every deal like this shrinks the number of doors you can walk through without a major standing behind one of them. But if you are a fan, this matters to you too. None of this money, not one single dollar, it's going toward finding the next artist you will love. It's all going towards songs and types that already exist. And here's the thing, nobody in that boardroom wants to say out loud. Take away the listening and the whole castle collapses. No bond, no 40-year model, no $15 billion merger. Every single deal we just covered only stand-ups because people like you keep pressing play. And you see the pattern. Big monies buys only 2 things in music. Old songs with a proven track record, and the pipes, everything flows through. One thing it never touches is the risky part in the middle. New, aspiring, working artists. If you saw our compression thesis episode, this is exactly the receipt. We said value in music was piling up at the edges. And what I just shared is a full year of deals proving it. Which brings us back to my and yours Spotify rap. Every prediction in those 40 years is built off one single ingredient. You're listening. Who you are, what you play, how often you come back. Trainings turn fans into a data feed. And that feed is now literally what songs get value on. One more thing on the AI panic before we close this out. Deezer ran a blind test on AI music, and 97% of people couldn't tell AI music from human music. That sounds terrifying. But if we flip it around, we can say that anyone can fake the sound. The sound was never the valuable part. The valuable part is the attachment. 20 years of memories glued to one specific recording. This is exactly why a brand pays real money for the original instead of the soundline. And that attachment belongs to exactly one person. You. And here's the part that should actually bother you the most. In every single deal we just covered, everyone got a say. Shareholders voted, regulators reviewed it, and bankers got paid. But the fan, the person who's listening is literally the thing being sold, was never in the room. So your attachment became a $1 billion financial product. And what did you get back? A year of graphic, a dashboard, the exact same data that priced the bond, handed back to you as a personalized quiz. So no, the music industry isn't dying. It's never the statement. What's actually happening is a transfer. So the value of being a fan has been found, measured, and sold. And the one person it belongs to is not on the table. And this is just the first receipt. Next time, we're gonna go way back, before streaming, before labels had this much power, to when fans were not a collateral. They were running the show. Back to street teams, fan clubs, tape trading, the original discovery engine, before the industry cut them out of their own history. So if fan attachment is strong enough to back $1 billion bond, what actually happened when fans stop being the collateral and start being the players in the deal? So this year, at the end of the year, when you're gonna have your Spotify rap, ask yourself, whose bond did you just help to price this time? Send this video to a friend who's posting every single year his Spotify rap with zero idea what it's actually worth. You're gonna find the sources in the description.